The most magnificent triumphs come from being in position. And being in position doesn't mean you've completely engineered a plan and step by step executed it, and now you are in position. It means moving towards the thing before you're even ready for the thing. I have two specific examples of this. Once upon a time, my partner and I wanted to buy a house, and that was an absolutely ludicrous goal because we had no money. We had $0, but we decided that we were going to have a house in 12 months. And we did get in position by renting a ridiculously horrible apartment to conserve money and packed ourselves in this tiny, terrible little apartment. Even with all the money we were saving by living in a terrible apartment, it still wasn't going to be enough to amass a down payment in 12 months. But no matter, we decided this thing is happening. So what I started to do while he was out of town working was going to open houses. I started clocking where the new developments were and going and taking a look and dreaming. And that's all I was doing. I was just dreaming, trying to understand what the housing market was doing. Anyways, I found this development that was it. There was these incredible new townhouses going up. It was exactly what I wanted. Every single thing I wanted was in these townhouses. And we didn't have a down payment. There was just no way. There was one unit left that a purchase had fallen through. And I was out there in the evenings looking in the windows of this townhouse, loving it. So I went on a Saturday to tour it. No money. There's no possibility I can do it. And the real estate agent was there doing an open house. There was a guy in the kitchen. There's people walking around. And the real estate agent was really pressing me, trying to get me to make an offer. And I just, for some reason, decided to be honest. And I said, look, I'm not ready. I don't have the $40,000 down payment that this place would require. As I said that, the man in the kitchen heard that and walked over and shook hands with me and introduced himself to me. And it turns out he was the developer of the entire complex. And he said, you know what, if you can qualify for the mortgage, I will finance the down payment. We'll put you on a payment plan across 4 years and I will finance the down payment for this. And I was like, what manna just fell from the sky? Like, this is amazing. And that is what happened. He financed the down payment. We got the mortgage. We moved into the townhouse. And it was like something like literally 12 months to the day that we had said in 12 months, we will be out of this apartment in our own house. It should not have happened. There was no possibility for that to happen. We did not have the ability to come up with $40,000 in 12 months. And yet it happened. It happened because I moved towards it and because I was honest and said what I could and could not do. And somebody was there who was like, I can make that work. Then the second time this happened was my husband decided that he wanted to quit his job because he was working out of town all the time and open up a barbershop. And he'd been a barber for many years before the career that he was in. So we decided we're going to buy a barbershop. Again, we don't have any money to open up a barbershop. So I was like, well, let's start collecting the things for the barbershop in our garage so that when it's time to have the barbershop, we will reduce our upfront expenses because we'll already have sinks and chairs and mirrors and cabinets in the garage ready to go. So I looked on Facebook Marketplace. He had a very specific vision. He wanted vintage barbershop. Those kinds of vintage chairs are really hard to find. And lo and behold, on Facebook Marketplace, there was 3 beautiful, ornate, gorgeous, old school vintage barbershop chairs in immaculate condition. And so I got in touch with the guy selling them, went over to his barbershop, got to chatting with him. He was an older gentleman who was retiring, and we got to chatting. He asked me about the vision. I said, my husband wants to change careers, wants to open up a barbershop, return to barbering. And so we're going to gather these chairs. We're going to put them in the garage. And when it's time, we'll use them. And he said, well, do you want this shop? I'm closing it down in 6 weeks. And I said, we do want this shop. We don't have any money. We don't have a loan. Like, we couldn't get it together to buy the shop. And he said to me, I'm closing the shop down in 6 weeks. I'm not selling it. I'm closing it down. That means I have to get rid of everything in here to clean it out for the landlord. It would be easier for me to give it to you and you to take it over. I'll give you my book. You keep all the clients. You keep the name. I'll give you the entire shop if you buy the chairs. And if the landlord will agree to turn the lease over to you. So then I went and met with the landlord, presented a business plan, got the lease, and suddenly we had a shop because we bought 3 chairs. And again, we weren't ready. We didn't have the money in place. We had just decided we were going to do it. And I moved towards it. And I was honest about what I could and could not do. I'm tempted in those moments to put on a front and sort of deny the opportunity as though I'm not interested in it when really I just can't afford it yet. So in those moments, I'm tempted to put on a front. And for some reason, in both those moments, I didn't put on a front. And I just said, look, I would love to, and we can't swing it financially. Don't have the down payment for the shop, don't have the down payment for the house, can't make it work, would love to otherwise. And both times that honesty was rewarded with people being like, I know a way we can make this work. So what I'm trying to say is when you get into position and move towards the thing you want, even before you have the resources or the step-by-step plan, even just when you have the vision, start moving towards it and things will happen when you are in position. And I'm thinking about that right now. I am moving to another country. I would like to buy a piece of property. I am not ready. I don't have all the pieces in place, but I have the vision. I'm moving towards it. I know once I'm there, things will fall into place. If I move towards it and I'm honest with the people I'm negotiating with about what I can and cannot do and what I can bring to the table, then the opportunities will start arising. It's not manifestation per se. It's just moving towards the thing you want, holding the vision and move towards it. The momentum makes it possible. So move towards something before you actually have all the resources, before you have all your T's crossed and your I's dotted and your ducks in a row. The ducks will never get in a row. They are not row walkers. Before you have all of that ready, start moving towards it, and momentum makes it happen. That is how you get in position, and being in position makes everything possible.